we have to see, we're reading the book of Matthew. And if you know Matthew's story, he did not have life all figured out. He was a tax collector. He was somebody who would have been on the fringe of society in the Jewish world. Because while he was a Jew, he decided to get in bed with the Roman Empire and start working for them and cheating his people out of their money. Because that's what tax collectors could do. They had an amount that they had to get for Rome, but then anything beyond that they could collect on their own behalf. And they did it. And they certainly did it. And Matthew, while he was neck deep in that kind of betrayal of his own people, you have to imagine he didn't make many friends when people saw what he was doing. And yet one day he's sitting at his booth doing his work, and then this man comes up to him and says, "Hey, come follow me." And Jesus gives him the invitation that changed his life, because later that day, Matthew decides to have a party for Jesus. And guess who comes? All the people who are also hiding in society, all the people who are the other tax collectors, the people that the Jews, the righteous Jews, didn't like. And yet Jesus is hanging out with them, and it's going so well for them that the Pharisees get upset because they see that this rabbi is spending time with the people who he has no business, according to them, hanging out with. But you know what? We see Matthew's story, and that's why he wrote down this biography of Jesus, is because his life was changed by the God who came and entered into his story, into his life, and saved him from his sins, and had a time where he was with him for 3 years on this earth. But then he knows that God is still with him today as he writes this. And so Matthew pens the story of Jesus. Why? Because Jesus' story is now his story. Because Jesus decided to change his life and got him out of the fringe and brought him into the family of God. Where he wasn't accepted, now he's accepted by Jesus. God is the one who will go to the places and the spaces where we want to avoid, or where we run to when we want to avoid people. He will meet us there in the darkness, and he will shine his light, because he's the only one who can deliver us from ourselves.